Hello and welcome to Wireman's Whimsy. Today we are going to make this thank you card using the Artistically Inked stamp set and the Expressions in Ink designer series paper. This designer series paper is absolutely amazing. I've already cut it up to store it, and I'll just flip through a couple of the colors for you here. Aren't they just absolutely stunning? I love these ones. I've already done a card using this piece here. It's just glorious. Like, the colors are just amazing, and we are going to use some of that paper today. So I've got a few different things going on here. We are using the greeting and two of the stamps from the Artistically Inked set. We're using the largest of the scalloped rectangles from the Contour Scallops die set. And we're using the floral die from the set that comes with Artistically Inked bundle, and it is the Artistic dies. So we're Versamarking in this one. One of the best things you can have when you're using embossing, using your Versamark and embossing powder, is your embossing buddy. You can tell from the packaging I've had this for a long time, but it's just a little, I think it's chalk or something like that inside. But what it does is you rub it over where you're going to emboss, and it takes the static off of the paper, so that when you sprinkle your embossing powder on and you tap it away, it only sticks to where your Versamark is. It doesn't stick to the rest of the paper. It's really useful. It helps you get really clean, crisp embossing. So this is the card. And I had originally started it just as, I'll pull the elements off. I was just going to do this shaded spruce card base, the designer series paper, and it's got the gold foiling in it. It's just gorgeous. And then this is one of the offcuts, actually from that same piece of paper. Probably came from right up there. When I cut my paper into 5 1/4 by 4, there's an 1.5 inch piece left over, and I use these pieces. And this is what I was going to do. That was going to be the card. And I thought, that's really pretty. I really like it. And I'd been playing with the dies and the die cuts. And I thought, oh, well, I wonder what would happen if I put that on and then put that over top. And I was concerned that this piece, being plain white, would get lost in the background. But what it really does is it really pops the detail around it and really pops the greeting out. So let's get started. There's a few different things that I did, and of course I keep going and it just gets more and more intricate. It could be a simple stamping card. It really could. You just literally put the designer series paper on, put your greeting banner with your greeting embossed in the gold embossing powder. I used gold so it would pick up on the gold here. So from there, I also, because it's the shaded spruce, I put a liner inside, and that's where I used the scalloped contour die for. And I also used the pale papaya with the small, I don't know if it's a peony or the small flower anyway, and I stamped that at the bottom. And if you look at the cards, the flower centers are gold. So I used the little scatter dot stamp in the Versamark, and I stamped it a couple of times, and I embossed the flower as well. So we did that, and basically all we need to do now is just build the card. I used the thanks in the Versamark with gold embossing powder, and then heat embossed it. And yeah, so it's that simple. It really is. So let's just build the card. Again, I used a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of white. I'm still using up my Whisper White because I stockpiled it. But the basic white cardstock is just fine. It's lovely as well. And I'm just adhering that to the inside so somebody can write their greeting. And it's just nice, pretty. When you open the card up, it's like, instead of just opening up a plain card, it's like, oh wow, there's stuff inside as well. So we're going to take our 5 1/4 by 4 piece of designer series paper, and we are going to adhere that to the outside like that. And because we're covering this up, this is a really good candidate for using the adhesive backed paper, so basically making this a sticker. But because we're going to be covering the middle of it up, it doesn't really matter if there's adhesive that shows through because we're covering it up. So I'm just going to use the snail adhesive. We do have Stamp and Seal adhesive as well. I've just run out of it, and my order hasn't come in yet. So I'm just going to adhere this down to the card front. And I've already done the embossing on here because using the heat embossing tool is just loud in the video. But heat embossing does, you can see the paper is just a little bit warped. So just make sure you put lots of adhesive on the back. Usually I'd only do like 2 strips. I'm actually going to do 3 strips on the back of this one, just so that it holds down. And then I'm going to place it, line my edge up so that it is straight, and then put it down. And that is your card. Beautiful, beautiful, just that simple. You could do it without. If you don't have the dies, you could do it without this floral die in the background, and it would be just as lovely. The paper really does speak for itself. So thank you very much for watching. If there is anything you'd like to purchase in this video, please use the links below. And I look forward to hearing from you and seeing your comments on this video. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.